Good morning, YouTube. How's everybody out there doing? Let me just make sure I have my mic set right and so on. All right, looks like we have some people out there. Good morning, Jane. Actually, what happened to Leo and April and a few other people were joining in? Actually, I'm not sure my notices are coming up anymore. In any event, I'm Greg from GregsTutoringNYC at gmail.com. I thought yesterday was going to be the last section of this, but I added on an extra one. We're running through the upper level of the ISEE test here. So this YouTube is directly applicable to the ISEE upper level, and there's a lot of questions analogous and very close to the SHSAT and a bunch of other tests. The SSAT is very close to this. The PSAT, the Bergen County Academies test, a whole plethora of stuff. The HSPT, the TJHSST, all of these tests I tutor for. All right, so let me make sure the stream is going good. We're probably going to go under half an hour today, so let's see where we end up. All right, the thing seems to be up there, so let me scroll to the question. I think we did 37, we did 38. Okay, we were up to 39. And let's just jump into this baby. All right, so it says the stem and leaf plot shown, and so it represents the scores on the math test. So we normally look at illustration, and first of all, a lot of you guys did stem and leaf plots, just like the cat and whiskers plot from a few questions ago. This one here, 34. A lot of you guys have done this. A lot of you guys have done 39, especially in probably grade 5, I'm guessing. And maybe early grade 6. And this is one where you probably do enough of the examples at the time, and then you never do them again. And one reason you never do them again is because you almost always see them in a histogram. You know, one of these kind of tables, which again, you should know what all these terms are, guys. The wire's pulling the phone. Is that good? Where you have something and you have different levels of stuff here, and depending on what your title's on here, that's really a visual representation of the scat and leaf plot. Because if you take that thing that's showing on your screen right now and do this to it, that's exactly what's happening. So if this was, say, 10s, you might have various things here, 20s, various things here, 30s, various things here. So let me explain what the scatter plot is, the stem and leaf plot again, if you're not sure. In fact, I'll just write this out quickly. So 5, 7, 8, 6, 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 7, 4, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 8 is 3, 3, 3. They've lined these up in columns. That's just the way it goes. 4, 4, 5. It doesn't need to be lined up in columns. This is a collection of data. 9 is 1, 2, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is 0. So what this means is that the score started at 55 and then ended up being 100. So basically it was 100, there was 199, there was 292s, there was 376s, okay? So it's just representing all that. Instead of writing on 55, 57, 58, 62, 62, 62, 64, they're all putting this down. Let me make sure this is showing on you guys' screens, because sometimes it gets cut off. All right, just slightly off. So let me just bring this up slightly. All right, so it's asking, what is the median score? Well, if I have a set of data, like 1, 2, and 3, the median is the middle number. That's a little different than the average. So if I had 4 and 5, then 3 would be the middle number. And if I had 1, 2, 3, and 4, you take the average of the two numbers there, and you'll get 2.5 as the median. So a quickie way to solve one of these is just go from both sides of it till you get to the middle. So the lowest number, the highest number. The lowest number, the highest. The lowest, 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 the highest. Okay, and sometimes you can figure this out through math. The lowest, the highest. 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 And now we're just stuck with numbers within right here. So the lowest, the highest, the lowest, the highest. So we get 78 if I did that right. Is that one of the choices? So 39 should be C, and it is. So that's the number we got left with. If not, we would have got the average of the two numbers there. There's quicker ways to do this, because you could have seen there was if you want to kind of get there, you could have seen there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 10 numbers here. So if you just cut off the top 10, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would have been those. And then 9, 10. You can do this faster is what I'm getting at. If you just try to make an arbitrary thing. So then we would just start here. Okay? We would still get the same answer. We're just jumping through because there's such a large set of data here. So there's a way to do that. All right? So just remember this, guys. At least they showed what the stem and leaf plot looked like. But what you want to remember is you're combining the two digits here. So in the last one where it has 9, right, that's the stem. So basically what they're doing is, this could also be shown graphically, where we had 9, 1, 9, 2, 9, 3, whatever, 9, 4, and each one is like this. So this means it's 93, okay? So this is just a different visual way of representing it. So just remember what this kind of plot is about. It's easy to think that this, on the first line, that it's 5, 5, 7, and 8, or just saying, you know what, I don't know what that first 5 means, and I just have 5, 7, and 8. One good thing about this kind of plot is that if you get in the meeting, you could probably figure it out. But the key was not to use the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 involved in it. Okay? All right, so you could argue whether this is a grade 9 problem, but they're going to throw stuff in like this. You could say, well, that's easy. Once you understand that, still be easy. Why would that be in grade 9? It's in grade 9 because it's not covered a lot, and it's something you're going to forget. Okay? All right, so we have 40 is still on the screen. What is the solution set for x squared plus 49 equals 0? So this one can be straightforward or not, depending on how you look at it. So a lot of you guys are going to try to figure out the like 5x here or something and try to get 7 or something. The problem is you can't get 7, because if you get x minus 7, then x plus 7 and so on, you start getting weird stuff. And really the way you want to solve this is just by doing x squared equals 49. Right? We add 49 to both sides, and then we take the square root of x squared and the square root of 49. In this case, we're going to get some weird numbers. In fact, I wrote the problem wrong, so let me redo this again. The problem is x squared plus 49 equals 0, and that's why you can't do the x plus 7, the x minus 7. You can't do two of them. So all you're going to do is do x squared equals minus 49, and if you get the square root of both sides, you're trying to get the square root of minus 49, which you can't do. So this gets into a concept called complex numbers, which is never really on the SHSAT, and obviously is on the ISEE. All right? And what it is if you followed what I did yesterday, this breaks down into the square root of minus 1 times the square root of 49. And the square root of 49 is 7, but it's also minus 7. Because 7 times 7 is 49. And minus 7 times minus 7 is 49. And this thing here is normally called I. So what we get is 7i and minus 7i. And that's what D talks about. When you see something that looks like this, with this plus minus thing, that's what it means, plus or minus. Sometimes when it's text-based, it's written like this, plus slash minus. It basically means or. Plus, so if I have plus 7i, it means plus 7i or minus 7i. Both of those are valid. So I can say my answer is, in the case of this over here, I could say this is plus or minus 7. Okay, that's a mathematical operation, so to speak. All right, it's just a shorthand way of writing it. Okay, so the next one I see, I have to move the my work paired info here, and I will drag this as far away as I can get it. Okay, so 41 is, we have some weird looking thing there. Grade 8ers have probably never seen this before, and enough grade 9ers probably never saw this before too. So it says, what is the result of the expression? So this is not hard to do, but it's normally considered in the realm of being advanced topics. It's just something you never get to before. And the truth of the matter is you could teach a second grader to do this. It's just left for later years because you can do more involved things. It's called the matrix. And what's really happening is matrix addition. So in this case, what we have is, let's call it x1, x2, x3, and x4. And we're adding it to basically y1, y2, y3, and y4. And the key here is just to add up the respective positions. So the 1 position gets added to the other 1 position. The 2 position gets added to the 2. The 3 gets added to the 3, and the 4 gets added to the 4. And we end up with a matrix that's also going to be four positions. So if I do, so in other words, here I'm going to get x1 plus y1. Over here I'm going to get x2 plus y2. Over here I'm going to get x3 plus y3. And over here I'm going to get x4 plus y4. And it's going to look like that. And that's all we're doing is, in this case, the operation was addition. So we're going to add the respective positions to create this new matrix. Okay? So in our case, we have 2, 3, 0, 4. Ah, shucks, none of this showed up. Ah. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drag this over. Let me re-explain it. So I have x1, x2, x3, x4, y1, y2, y3, y4. The respective positions get added. This is x1 plus y1, x2 plus y2, x3 plus y3, and x4 plus y4. If this operation was minus, then all these would have been minus. If it was multiply, then it will be multiply. Okay? That's all that's happening. You're taking respective position and adding it to the other respective position of another matrix, and we get a third matrix representing that. So if we have 2, 3, 0, 4 and 5, 3, 2, 1, we're going to do 5 plus 2, get 7, 3 plus 5, get 8, 0 plus 2, get 2, and 4 plus 1 to get 5. So if I did my simple math right, we should be getting, is that A? Actually, it turns out to be A, I think. So this is question number 41. Yeah, 41 is A. All right, so we didn't even need to, what? We didn't need to look at some of the other examples. Okay, and 42 is at the bottom there. It might be better if I do this, because then the left side is not cut off. Is that even going to work? No. Let me bring that up to the top. Okay, and this is the last question. The last question. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the formula for the surface area of a sphere is SA equals 4R squared. 4 pi r squared. Okay? Where r is the surface area of the sphere. So where r is the radius of the sphere. So this is the three-dimensional shape. It's not a circle. It still has a radius going to all parts, right? Think a bubble here or something. A sphere has a surface area of 16 pi centimeters squared. Okay, just make sure this is coming into screen right. So I don't want to screw this again. All right? And that's kind of all we need to do here. And just at this point, it's just a matter of going back and forth on the thing. Just let me read. What is the? Okay, yeah. So if we divide both sides by 4, we get pi r squared equals 4 pi. And if we divide both sides by pi, we get r squared equals 4, and therefore r equals 2. So 42 should be A. Yes, it is. All right, so just make sure you're matching up things in your formula. This would have been a SHSAT 9 question, and on the SHSAT it would have been harder. This is just making sure you're following stuff, kind of just making sure you're following along with it. All right, I'm Greg from GregsTutoringNYC at gmail.com. I tutor for the ISEE, I tutor for the SHSAT, I tutor for a whole bunch of other kind of standard tests, which are all coming up, a whole bunch are coming up in the fall. There's SSAT coming up, the ISEE is coming up in like 3 weeks. The SHSAT coming up in about 8 weeks. The TJHSST is coming up in about 8 weeks as well. There's a whole bunch of tests coming up at bouncing up. The Hunter College High School test is going to come up in mid-January, and it never ends, basically, is what happens. There's PSAT is thrown into it, SSAT is thrown into it. You can, the SHSAT's once a year, but the ISEE and the SSAT are multiple times a year. The TACHS is once a year, the Catholic High School test. All right, people, please email me if you have any questions. And have a great Sunday. Peace out.